So the Jamaican network of Seropositives is a membership organization which was founded in 1996 to help people living with HIV, AIDS, living with and affected with HIV and AIDS. Now this afternoon we are going to discuss the work of the JNS and what the church can do to help those who are living with and affected with HIV AIDS. Online is Jumoke Patrick, the Executive Director of the Jamaican network of Seropositives. Jumoke, good afternoon to you. How are you?
Good afternoon. I'm good. How are you? Thanks for having me on your program today.
Good stuff, and I'm doing well. So talk to me. What is the Gen? Is it Gen Plus?
Right. The shortening is Gen Plus, but it's actually the Jamaican network of Seropositives.
Oh, and I was saying JNS. Okay, well.
That's right.
So what?
Right. So for your listeners, it's the Jamaican network of Seropositives, shortening Gen Plus.
Okay.
We have been in existence since we were founded in 1996 to provide support to everyone in the island who's living with HIV.
Right.
We pretty much started our operation, our existence at the time, for people living and affected by HIV to be more recognized and respected as full and equal members of the Jamaican society. As an organization, we advocate for the rights and concerns of people living with and affected by HIV. And we do this through partnerships, empowerment sessions, and mobilizing resources to undertake programs that would uplift those who are living with HIV across the island.
Okay, so how long have you been in the position and what is your vision for the organization?
So, it just started in March of this year, so I'm a newbie to this position.
Okay.
And why I applied or why I decided to become the executive director for the organization is because as an individual, I feel that people living with HIV can feel confident that an organization.
It's sounding, you break it up. Okay.
Hello, you hear me?
Yes, much better, yes.
Hello?
Yeah, man, much better. Go ahead, Jumoke.
Okay, right. So, in being the new executive director, I want the organization to be more bold in terms of its advocacy. Our partners are proud of the work being done as an organization and is motivated to provide greater support to us. The public is being more aware of the challenges faced by people living with HIV and the role of Gen Plus as an organization to bring across knowledge and sensitization when it comes to issues that are faced by persons living with HIV. And the staff at the organization to be more proud of the work that they are doing and be motivated to provide greater support to the HIV community.
Okay, so it's all about standing up for people living with HIV.
Pretty much, that's what we do.
So there's no discrimination, right?
Right.
So tell us about the HIV landscape in Jamaica, about how many people are living with HIV.
So currently, it's an estimate that 1.6% of people living in Jamaica is HIV positive. That works out to maybe around 29,000 or depending on what the estimated population you use, but estimated it's currently at 1.6%. Since 2004, though, few people have been dying from AIDS. This fell by around 4%.
You're breaking up, Jumoke.
Hello?
Yes.
Right. So I was saying 6 to 4%. There are fewer deaths caused by HIV or fewer deaths because of AIDS. It fell by 6 to 4% between 2004 and 2015.
Okay.
We have fewer mother-to-child transmission. Fewer children are being born with HIV, and since 2011 we have been below the estimation target of 0.3 cases per 1,000 live births across the island. It is also important to know that 32% of the estimated number of people living with HIV are on treatment at the end of 2015. And of those who are on treatment, of that 32%, 44% are virally suppressed. And when we say virally suppressed, meaning that the HIV virus in the body is undetectable. It doesn't mean that they're not HIV positive, it means that the virus is undetectable. Treatment across the island is free for everyone when you go to public health care facilities, and also for civil society partners. Jamaica, Support for Life also provides treatment for persons living with HIV.
Awesome sauce. So what are some of the main issues affecting people with HIV in Jamaica?
Well, the main one is stigma and discrimination. Attitude among members of the church and community at large, and also
Sound right? No?
Constantly.
Jumoke?
Hello? You hear me?
Yeah, come up a little closer. Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, man, much better. Yeah, keep it that way.
Right, so stigma and discrimination is one of the issues, whether it's from the church, healthcare workers, or the community at large.
Yeah.
Our members face that. There's empowerment and support, lack of empowerment, lack of family support, limited opportunities post-secondary school, limited psychosocial support, and lack of understanding of how positive health, dignity, and prevention principles can be incorporated into the national HIV response. And the other one would be access to treatment and care. Limited range of treatment options, whether it's public clinic or private clinic, quality of services, overcrowding at healthcare facilities, waiting time, and access to healthcare facilities in general. And also, if you look at the culture of our country, religious themes, stigma and discrimination also affect the uptake of these services across the island when you go to these facilities.
So why do you think we discriminate?
Why?
Yeah, why do you think people discriminate?
One of the main thing is not knowing. So when you don't know something, or when you don't have the information, and when you have been schooled in a particular thought process, you react and you behave from that angle. But one of the things that I find that when you educate people and when you provide them with the information, and when you sensitize them, you see a behavior change. You see their behavior, their patterns, their thought process now change because you have given them information and for them to process it and thinking at the
So final.
In general, it's just lack of information, not knowing why a lot of people stigmatize and discriminate. And
that's where the Gen Plus comes in.
Right, that's where we come in. Where we come in as an organization, where we decide that our advocacy needs to span across all the sectors, sensitizing, whether it's healthcare workers, whether it's civil servants in general, and church as well, to go into churches, because I may be a Christian, I may go to church, but that doesn't mean that I also have the adequate information to provide the love, to provide the support to somebody who is living with HIV. And in some instances, you find that persons stigmatized and discriminated may not necessarily be intentional, but because, again, not knowing.
And not being educated.
Right.
Alright, so are there specific problems that people living with HIV face in the church?
I'm not hearing you.
Are there specific problems that people living with HIV face in the church?
Yes. There's some challenges we hear from different individuals when it comes to going to church and receiving, being stigmatized from even the church. A few of those, it ranges. Basically, there are problems they face that are unique to the church. Importantly, we must recognize that the church has a role to play in the HIV response. The Ministry of Health a couple of years ago did a survey with faith-based organizations and found that people who were known to be living with HIV face a lot of stigma and discrimination in the church. So in general, it's stigma and discrimination across whichever platform, across whichever sector. That's the number one thing that is affecting the HIV. They feel the person living with HIV. In some cases, they were either baptized last, they were given communion last, they were even given their own glass to take communion at different church groups. Because, again, it's lack of knowledge, not knowing that you cannot contact with by using the same utensils, by using the same crockery, or by sitting on the same chair, etc. And so you find that some of our members and persons living with HIV across the island face some of these challenges, especially in the church, when it comes to being a Christian, when it comes to Holy Communion, when it comes to even being baptized. Persons are, because I'm HIV positive, I should be the last person that goes into the water to be dipped and to be taken up and to be say, yes, I'm now a Christian. So we have some of those challenges that exist.
And funny enough, a lot of people are living with HIV in the church, but I think the pastors are the only one that are aware, so they don't tell the members because discrimination or whatever.
Right. Yes, and we have heard of situation where persons who are HIV positive, their first point of solace, let's call it that, would be to the pastor of a church. And in some instances, the pastor keeps that as a secret, and in other instances, it's shared with the congregation. So, again, it depending on what congregation you're a part of, what church group you're a part of, that you may feel accepted, that you may feel like this is a non-issue for the congregation that I worship with.
Okay. So it all comes down to this. What can the church do to help people living with HIV?
In general, caring for people who are living with HIV should be the key function for anyone, and that should be one of the key functions of the church as well. Christians, no matter where they live or what they do, need to ask how they can help to prevent HIV where they live and support those who are living with HIV.
Okay.
There are, let's say, 6 things I would try to say that the church should be doing to help persons living with HIV, and the first one I would say would be care and support. Just for pastors, bishops, whatever your title are, what you're in charge of a congregation or a church, make your church a welcoming and safe place for persons living with HIV. Your service or your sermons on a Sunday or a Saturday morning should be more about love and compassion for everyone, including those who are ill, unhealthy. Invite experts. You can even invite James or other experts
to the workshops and stuff like that,
to talk about HIV and have programs around HIV to help with the knowledge, to help with the sensitization. So care and support would be the number one thing for me. The church can also help with testing and counseling. And this may sound a way for some people, but yes, churches across the world are helping in the national HIV response for different countries in terms of testing and counseling. Serve as a platform where people can get tested. We need people to know their HIV status and to seek care and support when they are positive. The church is a good place to help with that. And if we recognize we're known to be an island with the most churches per square mile.
I know.
Picture every church across the island being a safe space for persons living with HIV who understand the issues, who understand the need of somebody living with HIV. So we recommend that help with testing and counseling would be a good thing.
Yes.
The churches can either introduce volunteer programs in their congregation to help with health issues such as HIV. And one other thing is to remove the stigma. And I said earlier about preaching more about love. When you remove stigma, removing the stigma includes sermons about love, respect, becoming friends with people who are HIV positive, or have your pastor be tested, not necessarily because they're at risk, but just to reinforce that it's not a sin to be sick. And champion healthy behavior. You can do this, for example, by promoting abstinence outside of marriage and faithfulness in marriage, encouraging married or unmarried couples to use a condom whenever they have sex. So some of what I've just said are some of the things the church can do to help across the landscape in terms of protecting, supporting, and providing care for persons living with HIV.
Okay, and at the end of the day, what does the JN Plus want?
So, as I said earlier, we advocate for the rights of persons living with HIV. So ultimately, that's what we do. So we are working to improve what we do to better serve people living with HIV. We want to, through our advocacy, mainstream the issues related to persons living with HIV, and we want to ensure that every Jamaican living with HIV can have access to the services and support they need without any partiality. So pretty much that's what we want to do as an organization. And at the helm of the organization, I want to ensure that our advocacy is bold, that people recognize that persons living with HIV are not over there and we're over here, and that the same issues that affect the quote-unquote general man also affects persons living with HIV, and that persons within the HIV community are very knowledgeable, are very smart, are leaders across the island. But because again of stigma and discrimination, some persons are afraid to disclose, some persons are afraid to talk about the issues. So I want our advocates to be bold, and as I said, I want to ensure that every Jamaican living with HIV can have access to the services and support they need without any partiality.
Good stuff. Before you go, how can people get in contact with you for more information? Their social media page, website, all of that?
So we are located at 3 Trevanian Park Road, Kingston, and we are also on all the social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. You can find us. Just Google us. We have a website as well, and you can visit our website, and you can contact us from there. And we'll reach out. We want persons to reach out to us who want to talk to persons who don't have a voice, persons who want to talk about HIV, persons who have maybe currently been impacted or affected by HIV and need somebody to talk to. We are also available for those persons as well. And we just want to be in the public, in the eyes of every Jamaican, to be talking about the issues and to ensure that at the end of the day, persons know what we're about and persons are more accommodating and welcoming and supportive of persons living with HIV.
Wow, what a mouthful. Jumoke, before you go, your final words?
My final word, I guess, would be to your listeners, the church groups across the island, the Christian community, that in your worship, in your different spaces, in your congregation, that while the preaching may be in a particular direction, in order to be more welcoming and understanding of different issues, that persons need to become more aware and more understanding and to get the information and to learn a lot about things that may not necessarily fit into the paradigm of what the church represents. But you also have persons who want to be a part of the church and feel that being HIV positive prevents them from being a part of a church or a congregation. So just for the church to be more welcoming, more understanding, and more receptive to differences and other persons who does not fit in the everyday stereotypical description of a Christian, so that we can all live in a productive society where everybody is accepted. So pretty much that's what I want to leave you guys with today.
All right. Thank you so much. What a mouthful. We're all about educating and informing people, and it's no to discrimination.
Thank you, and I appreciate that.
Thanks, Jumoke.
Thank you for having me, and have a good day.
You too now. All right, speaking there with the Jumoke Patrick, the Executive Director of the Jamaican Network of Seropositives. Yeah, it's about educating people here. Yeah, man. You're not skeptical or like that. Yeah, man. So you can contact them, workshops or whatever, and get more involved and informed and educated. Because 2017. Yeah, man. Jumoke Patrick there, the Executive Director of the Jamaican Network of Seropositives, and they call themselves JN+.